would you buy right now? I've never been a big McLaren fan, but I keep seeing them on the road. I'm like, that looks nice. That looks nice. I tried ordering a GT3. Um, what was it, back in the spring, summertime or something? And I knew you weren't going to get one right now. I know the game, but they're talking 3 or 4 years, and I'm like, the GT3 is nice, but do I want to wait 4 years to get a flipping car? There's just too much other fun stuff out there to sit around and wait. So, you know, getting another garage space here, which means more cars. So looking at, I mean, I know that 720S. That's that one. Everyone wants that one, right? This is the one I originally called the guy on. It was a 2020, 10,000 miles. But anytime I buy a car, and if I'm looking at an exotic car, I do want some kind of factory warranty. Usually, like, give me 3 months of factory warranty just so I know I'm not getting completely screwed. Where if there's something going on that I wasn't aware of when I bought it, that it's covered. Unfortunately, the first owner of this thing straight piped it, and that they lost the warranty on it. But for some reason, McLaren's, I like the green. Um, I know it's one of those standout colors. There's like this certain, I love Lamborghinis in that like gunmetal matte color, the matte black. If it's done right, I'm kind of getting tired of matte black. Ferraris, I like them in red, for example. Sometimes I like them in white. Sometimes I like them in blue with that tan interior. But from when I've seen these on the road, the green's nice. Um, I've come across. I gotta sort this list here. By the way, there's so many Aston Martins for sale. Like it seems like nobody wants nobody wants an Aston Martin. It's crazy. This year, 2021, all the exotic cars were like sold out, like everything else on this planet. We got all this money, and people just started buying stuff left and right. But for some reason, you could always find an Aston Martin. Let's see what else we got here. So I've come across a lot of these 570s. 2019, 2018, yeah, you're definitely going to be out of factory warranty at that point. But, low miles maybe. I keep reading a lot of bad stuff about the reliability, and that just bugs me. I know all exotic cars have that issue, but it seems to be particularly an issue with the McLarens. But this is what the ball around a budget McLaren is what they call it. Side note, I always liked this car. I like that. I don't remember the name of it, but BMW had something similar to this, and I'm not sure it was a four seater, but it was like an M coupe or something, and it had that shooting brake type design. It was. I always thought that was a cool car. That was probably, I'm guessing 2003, 2004. BMW had that, but that was a really cool car to me. But I was looking. I am trying to find a 2019, 2018, 2019 Ferrari GTC Forluso. V12 all-wheel drive. I'm in the Midwest. It's it seems like with electric cars and EPA, it's going to be harder and harder and harder to get V12s. Like I want to get that GTC4. I want to find an 812 at some point, super fast, and then probably a Lamborghini Aventador S. Like I think those are cars that are going to go in the garage, and I'm going to just never get rid of them because I love V12s, and it's going to be one of those things where you're not even going to be able to buy them anymore. So why not just get them and hang on to them? But the SVJ is amazing, right? But go look at the prices of Lamborghini SVJs. I remember seeing them, 6-9 months ago for 500-600. Now they're going, 8-9 plus. It was crazy what's going on in the car market, but um, this FF was cool, but that reworked version of GTC4, the interior is really nice on those two with the updated tech. So another baller on the budget, 570. So they don't have it here. Another 570. So I don't know where I saw it, but there was a, you know what? It might have been new. I wonder if it's under new. They got that new McLaren GT, and I found that one to be interesting. So I don't know, what are your thoughts on this one? Did they sell it? Nah, that's a new 720S in the blue. So somewhere I stumbled upon, maybe they removed it from the website. They had a 2022 McLaren GT, and I want to say that was around 215,000. And I gotta say the interior is nice. More, definitely more Grand Touring. Um, not as not as exotic looking. It was a weird mixture of looking at a Maserati and a Lamborghini or something. I don't know, but the GT has, it had to be the right color combo. So finding one that's, low mile pre-owned probably not going to happen. But that might be a car I would order. So I got to talk to the sales guy about that one. It seems like it would just be a nice car that can be daily driven a little bit more. I bought my, and I got a higher tolerance for. See, I don't like the orange in this one. This is why. It's like I hate yellow. I'm just not a fan of yellow. And it's one of those things like even the Ferraris, a lot of times they end up with yellow in them. I can't stand it. I really don't like the orange in this one with the blue exterior. You spending that kind of money, it's like you don't compromise. So this is why it's so hard to find something that's already made, and you got to order. You just got to order it. Like the last BMW I bought, you had to order it. Like my Ford truck I just ordered, you had to order it. It's like, why compromise? Cars are getting so expensive. Um, you got to order the damn things. But anyways, that GT, I'm gonna check it out. I mean, it's a nice car. That little tablet thing bugs me. It looks like they just plopped like remember the Palm Pilot? Like they just dropped the Palm Pilot in the middle of the dash. Let's just scope that out. I mean, it's a nice car. It's one of those things I don't want to compromise for that kind of price. So we got anything else cool on this site? Lamborghini inventory. It's harder and harder and harder to find Lambos. Nothing. I ain't got nothing. Man, that's what it's like in 2021 here. There's nothing else I really care about at this point. So, anyways, what McLaren would you buy? Would you look at the McLaren GT? Would you try to find used 600 LT? The 620R, going back to what I was saying a minute ago, it just goes in line with the 620R. My tolerance for roughness. Like if I buy a truck, it's usually always lifted. I got bigger tires. I got, we're going up 3-6 inches. I'm used to bouncing around a little bit. That doesn't bother me. My truck right now that I basically daily drive because I live on a dirt road is a 2500 GMC Denali that's got the Fox coilover set up in the front. Got rid of the torsion bar. Doesn't bounce around too much. That's not too bad. But a car I bought for the track was the Camaro ZL1. Then I had K-Tech, put some goodies on it. We're around 800 horsepower, but I zip around the city in that thing. It's got the dampers in the back, so it's not very forgiving. And I don't mind messing around on the streets with that. It's still fun to drive. It hooks up really nice on the street. I got rid of those Goodyear, the Goodyear slicks that come on it, which they're fine for the track, I guess. But I got a set of Michelins on there, and those things hook up on the street real nice, even throwing down almost 800 horsepower. But that car's, rough to ride in many people. And if you look online, before I bought the car, and I'm thinking it was going to go with the track anyways, not drag strip track, but track. But the people who were daily driving it were saying, "Oh, it's so rough, it's unbearable," and it's like, well, I've driven that car around the city for an hour and a half, just cruising, messing around with people, and it's bumpy. But I wouldn't say it's like. I think people are so used to these cars that just kind of float like butter, and I get it. But I got Michigan roads, which I'll go toe to toe with anybody in the country on worse roads. Yeah, it's bumpy, but it's not like miserable. I mean, would I want to do a 4-hour drive in the car? Would I want to drive from here to Chicago? And then no, I don't want to do that. But messing around for half an hour, hour and a half, yeah, not bad. So I could probably deal with something at the 600 LT or a 620R if I found one pre-owned that Yeah, I know it's going to be a bumpy ride on the road, but you know, the GT does sound nice. It doesn't have as sexy of a look to it, but something you can drive around. It's not as bumpy. Maybe some more creature comforts. You know, maybe a little more leather on the inside. Not a bad looking car anyway. So I don't know. Looking at summer 2022, what would you buy? You know, I'm not really. Well, the 570 doesn't do anything for me. 600 LT, 620R just looks cool as shit to me. That looks super cool. The GT, maybe even looking at a 720. Um, the thing is, I'm going to spend 720 money. Then I start thinking, can I just find an Aventador S? Or start looking at. It's one of those things with prices. If you're going to spend 350 or more on a McLaren, then I'm going to look at a Ferrari 812. I'll just spend more at that point if that makes any sense. And I guess that's when people mark things up a lot, it just gets to the point where it's not worth it. And the dealers around here did this up in the Ford Raptors and the Ford Mustangs. It's the Ford Mustang's 80 grand, and the dealer's trying to sell it for 115. Then I'd rather just spend 150 on a Porsche at that point. So that's just me. So if I'm gonna spend 350 on a McLaren, then I'm probably gonna just go find an 812. And if I want to spend, if I got to spend 450, and then I'm gonna look at, an Aventador S or something like that. It's just one of those things that the value, what we value isn't always like money. It's not the dollar figure. It just shifts as you go. There's just things you're willing to pay for something, and the McLarens they seem like they're on the cheaper side of things, right? You're watching the Ferraris and some of the Lamborghinis really appreciate at this point, and then you got to factor in the depreciation too. I guess on the 570, you saw the prices on some of those things. They're not holding too much value at the moment. But it's probably why people aren't buying the Astons. Don't those things drop like rocks? I don't know. Anyways, what would you buy? Would you buy none of them? You got some other suggestions? Drop a comment below. Until then, I'm going to catch you on the next one.